A1 Party Pit. Hey, what's up, y'all? Back live at the A1 Party Pit. We just had the food. I got my man JD here, right here with me. Please take your name one time. Your full, correct name, please. Travis Stevenson Gar. Travis Stevenson Gar. And if y'all remember, it was about maybe a month and a half ago that Travis did his juvenile redemption story live on 40 Minutes with 40. It was a great interview. And just to catch y'all up, he was 16. Was under the bad influence of an older woman that he was dating at the time. Something bad happened, and he's now been in since he was 16. I do have good news though. His sister got a response from the governor's office saying they checked out the interview and they sent all of those things to the parole board. So how do you feel about that when you got that news right there?
It's uplifting, it's encouraging, it shows that there's people out there that's actually listening to what we're doing in here and the positive things we're trying to get done with everything in here, and it gives people hope and encouragement to continue to do right, continue to educate themselves and things like that. Because I feel like education is the key.
Right.
Because anybody can do wrong.
Right.
It takes a man to do right.
No doubt about it.
And I feel like that's just encouragement, and it's pushing me further to try to help others and to help show that what we're doing is a positive thing.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: how many times have you been up for parole?
This will be my 6th time up.
Okay. And how long have you been incarcerated?
29 years.
29 years. Now I know we even both heard things about the parole board and they not letting nobody out and all of that, but this year feels a little bit different. Do you think so?
I honestly feel like that I have a real chance of getting out for the first time.
And we thank Governor Spanberger for that. We thank Governor Spanberger for taking the time to listen to your sister's emails and to respond. You know, because sometimes governors can be so busy and, they just let things get by them. But you had one more thing to say to the parole board about why you need to go home, JD. You got 30 seconds. Tell them why they need to let you go home and be with your family.
Because I feel like the man I am today will be an asset to society and helping other youth not follow the path that I did, and helping my family to show that I wasn't always a mess up, that I have educated myself, and now I'm at a point where I want to help others.
That's what's up. So I'd like to thank JD for stopping by. This is my dog. This is my dude. We got some more letters that we're sending to the governor for him. Like I said, if you want to support his story, please go to 40 Minutes with 40, listen to his interview, and then you can send the governor or the parole board a letter. All you got to do is Google Virginia Parole Board in Virginia, Governor Spanberger's office. Get the email addresses. What's your name again?
Travis Gar.
Travis Gar. And listen, he's a good guy. He needs to be out there with his family. Much love to his family. Thank you for stopping through, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank y'all for everything you're doing.
Appreciate it. All right, we rolling. We at the A1 Pie Party, and I think the food was good. I'm going to ask somebody. We got people everywhere. The pod is lit. Everything live. We had a mini cake. We live with a podcast. You want to say something? You don't. Anybody will talk about the food. Here we go right here. All right, we live on the podcast. You good? Everything good? Get the mic and everything. Get the mic right here. Yeah. So we live. What's your name, bro? X-Man. Okay, X-Man came to the party with the food, all right? Man, everything was excellent. Everything was good. So what are you doing here at Pocahontas? Like, what are your activities and stuff? Man, right now I'm just over the music ministry of the church. You know, I play keyboard and try to stay positive as possible, man. I do the time, but don't let the time do me. God is good. So when is the church, like, what days do y'all meet and everything? We might be at Pocahontas. We meet at on Fridays at 8 o'clock, every Friday at 8 o'clock in the visitation room. Okay, that's the best. So I want to thank X-Man for coming through. Hey, God is good. If you at Pocahontas all the time, come through the church. All the time, God is good. Hey, thank you for coming through, X-Man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Want to get on the show? Okay, all right, there we go. Okay, we got Rachel right here. Hey, put your mic up. Hey, we got Rachel right here. How you doing today?
Celebrating my mama's birthday.
Okay, that's what's up. Was the food good?
It was outstanding.
Was the pod lit?
Yeah.
Everything is good. That's peaceful. So what are you working on right now? I know that we have an upcoming interview with you. Situation with the doctor, different things. We'll get into it. We're not going to spoil it. But how are you now, like mentally, everything like that?
Yeah, I'm excited for my surgery.
Okay, that's what's up. And if anyone don't know, we did have an interview with Rachel. Unfortunately, there were some technical difficulties, and Rachel will be coming up in the feature show maybe next week. We wait on this loud fan the cutoff so I can really get her story. So I want to thank Rachel for stopping through today, and we got the A1 Pod being lit. Thank you, Rachel. Hey, y'all, we still at the A1 Pod, man. We got a little block party / baby birthday. Everybody, you had some food, man. I want to clear this up because I told them earlier I was up cooking. How was the food, though, bro?
Oh, yeah. You know you did your thorough.
Okay, you got the big wrap. You want to eat that later, right?
I'm getting ready to eat
I
that.
made Snooty his own personal wrap because he was like, bro, cook something, bro, cook something. So today, I put some love in. I got his own personal wrap. This is Snooty Kenneth Robinson. Y'all may remember he had a juvenile redemption story about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Please go back to 40 Minutes with 40. Check out his story, man. It's an awesome story, man, how sometimes when we're young, we can be manipulated. We don't know the law. We don't know things like that. And sometimes we can make bad decisions. But Snooty has stood by, Kenneth Robinson, has stood by his innocence. And we are happy to have him back on the show. Just a tune-up. So when you go up for parole, bro?
August 18th, man.
August. Okay. We ain't got long. So what do you think about the new parole board questionnaire? As far as finding out, you know, your decisions when you were juvenile, what made you make that decision, how have you changed? It's a new question. What do you feel about it?
I mean, you know, I think it's great because it's
Okay.
what I'm saying, because if you can't explain you
Okay.
to somebody,
You really ready to go home?
then you don't, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just put it plain and simple. You're not ready to go. You know what I mean?
That's the best. So, what is your outlook now? You're going up next month. I can imagine there's a little bit of jitters, a little bit of nervousness, but I know you have faith. I know that you believe it's your time to go.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel about the new board, and what is your feeling as compared to last year?
Well, with this board right here, you know what I'm saying? I take this as a part 2 to Terry McCullough, Robert Northam,
okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Adrian Bennett,
yeah, and you know,
willing to give
people who really giving an ear and listening to what you have to say.
Okay.
But this parole board right here, I think is a little better because they're letting you tell your story.
Okay.
And
hold on, why is it important to tell your story? Some people might not know that. Why is that important?
because, man, it's bringing forth clarity.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
What happened?
Of a situation. Right.
I got
you know what I'm saying? So if a person don't understand what being honest means, you know what I'm saying? This is the time to come clean, be honest with yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So
I got you.
when they ask you certain questions, just be truthful. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful. So we ain't gonna hold you. We got a few more interviews. I just want to say we send it to the parole board. You know this goes to Governor Sandberger. It goes to advocates all over the country. If the parole board is listening now, Kevin White, any of the new board members, and they listening right now to Kenneth Robinson, and you go up next month, tell them one thing about you that they may not see in the interview or may not see in your paperwork that says, look, I'm ready to go home. One thing about you. The parole board is listening right now.
Well, I have, over the years, you know what I'm saying, I admit that I was a little illiterate.
Right.
But now, over the course of years going to school, trying to get my degree and reading and stuff like that, as my mindset is totally different. I'm focused. You feel what I'm saying? I know I have clarity. I know what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And mobile detailing, car service.
You got the job ready, right?
Yeah, I got a job with seeing them home.
Okay.
Roboard is necessity of done it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my sister, you know what I'm saying?
Family support.
Right.
Waiting on you,
my brothers,
your brothers.
and my daughter. And you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got a total package, man. I'm ready, you know what I'm saying? I just need the opportunity to show you that, you know what I'm saying?
You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, so we want to give some love, Kenneth Robinson, my man Snooty. If the parole board listening, Governor Sandberg, whoever's listening, this brother say he's ready. He got a job ready. He has a great family ready. He has educated himself, he said. He has stayed focused. So he just want to tell everybody there is room for second chances. And some people who may not be ready will get ready, but then you have people like Mr. Robinson that are already ready. So we thank you for coming through, man.
Yeah,
The food was good, right? We want to have that.
I can't wait to get this wrap.
Thank you, bro. Got my man Quan stopping through. Put the mic up there for me, man. Put the mic up for me, big dog. I hear you. Got my man coming through. What's up, man?
Ain't nothing, man.
You came to the block party.
Yo, there, I
had something to eat.
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it for the world, man.
It was good. I cooked every single thing that was on that table. Was it good?
Yes,
Don't lie.
It was great, man.
We'll do no better to the audience. If it wasn't right, just let them know it wasn't right. Was it good?
Okay,
that's a good.
You know what I'm saying?
How you feeling today, man?
I feel good today, man.
What do you think about LeBron going to Philly, man?
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man.
You want to go back to Cleveland.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go back to Cleveland and just get another one in Cleveland.
Okay.
A little bit, but unfortunately, that's where he chose to go, so more power to him.
Okay, that's a bet, man. But everything else is good. How you think the crowd is right now doing this block party, A1 block party? Everything live, everybody happy.
Everything live,
everybody talking.
The atmosphere is good.
Races are with races, black with white. We don't do no racism. We don't do nothing. It's all love.
We all family in here.
That's what it is, man.
Family in here.
I want to thank my man Twan for stopping through, man. Got to give my man Twan some love, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. God bless y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
That's a bit. Okay, everybody. I guess I'm gonna wrap up the block party. It's getting close to dinner time and lockdown. Everybody it's electric in here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Everybody's talking, hugging, communicating, sharing cake at the table together. It's peaceful. So I feel good. You know, that made me happy. I didn't eat because it's kind of like my mother used to tell me how she would stay up and cook all night for Christmas. And, you know, different stuff like that. And I used to be like, Christmas Day, my mother wouldn't eat. She would like eat a little piece of this or a little piece of that. And I was like, Mom, why you not eating? She'd be like, it's just something about when you start cooking and, you know, putting so much love in the food, something happens to your appetite. So I'm not complaining. I guess my fullness is just the love in the pod, the peace in the pod. I'm glad I did it. I went against the whole, I ain't doing it no more, it's so much work, and this, that, and to be honest, nothing makes me more happier than unifying people, different races, different beliefs, because we're all one person. You know, underneath the skin, you know, we all have feelings, we all have emotions, we all have, you know, wants and dreams and hopes and all of these things. Even people in prison, like, just because a person in prison, that does not mean that they don't hope anymore. I still have hope. As a just turning 50-year-old man, like I still want to do things and experience different things in life and go out and travel and take my grandkids to the baseball game and different things like that. So it's been beautiful. The A1 block party / Big Baby birthday party was a smash hit. Everybody in the pod was able to eat if you wanted to. I think everybody came through the line. We had the barbecue pizza. Oh, I'm giving y'all the menu. I got to do that. So I made barbecue pizza, 2 of those. Then I made the regular meat lovers pizzas with the pepperoni sausages and all that. Then I made a veggie pizza. And then we had like this big swole thing that they call it. And it had like rice and soup and tuna, fish steaks. Let me see. I put mackerel in there. Turkey sausage, regular sausage. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was just full of food. Put it with some cheese in there. We had crackers and all of these different things around it, different type of Doritos, nachos, and all that. Then we had the cake. We had a strawberry cake, chocolate cake, 2 orange icing cakes, and then 1 pound cake type thing. So we had some bakers that stood in Juju. Great cook and Ron, you know, I talked to them, they baked the cake for everybody, and it was a smash hit, and I made wraps, so my fried wraps is pretty much with fried rice. I do the mackerel, I put the mackerel in butter with garlic, and put all that together, so Snooty's enjoying one of those, a couple other people, so it was beautiful, man. The pod is at peace. We had A1 pod Pocahontas, man. Today, I guess, 7:24. They looked at the cameras, they'll see nothing but the whole pod eating, unifying, talking, laughing, and that's it. What else could you ask for? So when I started my Free Friday thought this morning, it was in hopes that this would turn out like this. And you never know because, everybody got different attitudes, personalities. But I can say that the first event for A1 Pod in Pocahontas was a success. So thank you. I'm not going to hold you. Stay tuned. This season 2 is taking off great. We got some great shows. We've already done some great shows. We got some great shows coming up. We got an interview coming up after this. We got the Human Lounge coming up after this. So just stay tuned, man. This is 40 Minutes with 40, man. This is your man, Free, founder of the 40 Strong. Oh, that new website, the40strong.com, we just updated it. Check it out. I'm telling you, it's back. And I had left all the Sandburger stuff up there, all the voting stuff from January. I never wanted to change it because I enjoyed the journey so much. But I had a couple of people like, dang, Free, I know you like Sandburger, but it's time to redo the website. So I did get to go in. Much love to Top Dog coming in, fixing the website. My son, Junior, he helped out a lot. So yeah, check out this website, the40strong40strong.com. Got a lot of information up there. Come on, roll with me. Thank you for coming through. This is Free, checking in from A1 Pod Block Party, Pocahontas, and I'm gone.
Please be advised, parental advisory is suggested due to adult content and language. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Free. Back at you. We got another 40 Minutes with 40. This is kind of a special one because we did this actual interview about a month ago, and due to technical difficulties, we were unable to play it. Tears have tried. Much love to Tears for keeping these interviews going and editing and, taking the time to make sure that these interviews are heard. But when I did this interview, it was a little loud in the pod, and unfortunately, Tears couldn't do all the audio magic to make it work, so we've been waiting to do this interview over, and we're back, and here we go. We're here. And today I have with me Rachel Stabbits, and we are excited to have her. I've been trying to do this interview, and I think it's a story that needs to be heard, so I'm just going to let her say good morning. We are on the rec yard because the pod is still loud, and there's a fan in there, so we came outside on the yard at Pocahontas to do this interview because I felt it was important that all stories are heard and that all stories are told. So I'm going to let Rachel say good morning and kind of introduce herself to you and go from there.
Hello, my name is Rachel, and I just wanted to say hello and LOL.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this with kind of how this started. Rachel came in our pod a little over probably a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, something like that. And at that time, I had, spoke to Rachel about the 40 Strong and different things that we do, the advocacy that we do, and Rachel was explaining to me her situation with trying to get a surgery and different things that she was dealing with, living as a trans woman in the Virginia DOC. And I let her know that, look, I'll tell your story, I'll help you, whatever, and it kind of went like that. Then Rachel came back like, I don't know about the 40 Strong. I don't know if y'all will really, support me. Is this really a good organization? And then I reassured her again, no, the 40 Strong is here for all our members. We started with 40 members. We are now at 5,000 plus members all over Virginia DOC, and every single person matters. We don't care about your race, your sexual preference, your religion, none of that. All we care about is making sure each person is treated fairly and in the right way. So here we are. So I'm going to let Rachel kind of say what's been going on with getting the surgery, a little bit about your background and stuff so people can understand what brought us to this point to tell your story on 40 Minutes with 40.
So I've been locked up since 2007. I've been down for almost 20 years. I've been fighting for gender reassignment surgery since about 2021, 2022. I've been on hormones for roughly about 8 years. And every time I get scheduled for my orchiectomy, which is part of the reassignment surgery, it gets postponed. Mysteriously just gets postponed. And I've had that happen now 3 times just in the past 2 years. And there's no reason to justify for not providing me surgery. I've been approved through the Virginia Department head of corrections, and that's kind of where I stand. I was supposed to go June 25th for my orchiectomy, and they postponed that, and it was a real big impact on me. I mean, it caused me a lot of turmoil, a lot of mental health issues, and they like to use those issues against you to try and say, well, this is why we postponed, but it wouldn't have been an issue had I had my surgery. And it's like they promise you things to keep you going without providing you the surgery that you need.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you're saying a surgery, was this surgery court ordered? Like, I want to kind of let the audience understand how this works, you know, as far as you first living in Virginia DOC as a woman, now wanting to have this surgery to make that transition. Now, was this surgery court ordered? Is this something that was approved by medical, a doctor, or how does that work? What led to being approved for the surgery?
So the surgery goes through a process. It's a bunch of loops that you jump through. They have a transgender steering committee in Richmond at the head offices of Department of Corrections, and the head of that team is Dr. Fink, and she's the first one that will approve you for the surgery, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get the surgery right then and there. What happens after that is they'll schedule you for an outside provider, mental health clinician, to also evaluate you, and you have to get their recommendation also for the surgery. So I've had both of these recommendations. I went to VCU, because that is where they would have to take me to. I went to VCU, had my consultation with the surgeon at urology, and that's where I'm at.
Okay. So moving on, I want to kind of get into the conditions and treatment of trans women in Virginia DOC. Like, how do you feel you're being treated now as far as the housing? I know we have a good pod. You know, just a good pod. There's no judgment. Everyone's pretty much able to live how they want to live. But as far as the Pocahontas or different places that you feel, where do you feel safety is for trans women? How do you feel the treatment is? Are you getting, you know, surgery aside, we'll work on that. We're trying to advocate for that now. But outside of that, how do you feel DOC is doing as far as PREA, making sure that you're safe, that no one's taking advantage of people who are choosing to live their life the way that they want?
So maybe everyone has heard that Donald Trump has taken away the PREA, so we no longer have PREA in the facilities in DOC, and really I think there's a lot more that they could do because they don't give the transgenders enough control over who we have as cellies. They don't have no problem on sticking you in the cell with someone, which really puts you in a vulnerable situation because then you're locked in the cell with someone who could potentially be a danger to you. And I believe that there's a lot more than what they could do to help transgenders in the Department of Corrections, namely stuff like announcing their presence when they enter into the male officers and the female officers. Right now, currently, they only have the female officers announce their presence when entering into a unit to afford both the inmate and the officer privacy. And they're not doing that. Like me, I have a female certificate of birth. I've obtained that, and they should be having the female officers announce their presence too. And secondly, like for the surgeries, I believe this wouldn't be a surgery. This is more a cosmetic thing. But I mean, really, if you think about I'm on hormones. I've been on hormone therapy for 8 years, but there's so much more that they could do that they won't do because they say there's cosmetic. But if you look at hormone therapy, really the results of that is cosmetic because it changes your physical body more into a feminine posture. And they won't provide, right now they won't provide the Nair or the Vanica for the face creams to cut back on facial and neck hair and stuff like that they could provide, but they claim that it's cosmetic.
Okay. So we're not going to beat up on DOC a lot because, you know, it's so much going on and they got different concerns with drugs and stuff like that. So what do you think they are doing right? You know, as far as providing medication, are you able to talk to counselors when you need? You know, what do you think DOC is doing right to help trans women and, people who are living their true lives? What do you think?
Providing transgenders with the diagnosis of gender dysphoria and giving trans women the opportunity to obtain that and to receive hormone therapy. I wholeheartedly am forever grateful to the Department of Corrections for my diagnosis and for this opportunity of hormone therapy. I've said it 1,000 times that, everything is owed to Dr. Fink, who has helped me, and I think that there are many people on the gender dysphoria team that are really for the trans women and helping us. They've given us makeup in the Department of Corrections where we can wear makeup. It isn't that the Department of Corrections hates us or is beating up on us or vice versa, that I'm beating up on DOC, because, they have done lots of things. We've made lots of headway opposed to what it was, say, 15 years ago.
Okay, that's cool. So let me say this now. Let's get into just as far as the mental aspect of living as a woman in a male facility. If someone's out there struggling, it may be someone in Sussex, Red Onion, Haynesville, wherever that may be, what advice can you give them as far as, going through the process, living their true self, not being ashamed, just anything like that someone who may have a family member or somewhere who's dealing with depression or things like that, what exactly could you tell that person that could inspire them today?
So for me, I think it's the best decision I've ever made coming out and living my life as the woman that I am. For someone who's locked up and hasn't been able to make that step into being who they really are, I would just say that, do what feels best to you, but there are people in the Virginia Department of Corrections that are there for you. Not just on staff side, you have lots of inmates that can help you too. That you got PRSs, which is personal recovery specialists, and there's lots of groups and programs that you can get into to help you. And just wait till you're ready.
That's wonderful. And I'd like to also say this, if a person is struggling, please, seek help, talk to someone, find your faith, talk to your family, talk to someone else who's dealing with what you're dealing with, because, I've seen situations where the depression can lead to suicide attempts, mental health disorders, different things like that. So if you know someone, or if you are that person who may be listening to this call on the three-way, seek help. Talk to somebody, talk to your counselor. Like right today, we have peer recovery specialists who are there to help. Reach out to the 40 Strong, the40strong at Gmail. We'll try to get you the help that you need. But more importantly, we want to make sure that everyone is living their true life and also being happy, joyful. No one should have to be depressed because they feel a certain way about their body, about their life, about who they feel they are. No one should be attacked. No one should be discriminated against. No one should be assaulted. So we're against any forms of hate, regardless of the circumstances. And I really wanted to expound on that. So let me close out with this. If there's something that you want to say to DOC or to the medical or to an advocate, on how important your surgery is, to reaffirm, who you are, Rachel Stabbis, how do you feel, how you want to wake up every day, what would you tell them as far as the importance of receiving your surgery, which has already been approved? But let me say this again, it's already been canceled 3 times. So what would you say to them now as far as the importance of this surgery and why you feel you should have it?
First and foremost, I would give a shout out to Dr. Fink, of course, who is over the Transgender Steering Committee. And I would say that, while I have made this progress, my transition is not over. I still need bottom transition, which speaking of surgery. And if there's someone out there that's battling inside, get yourself mentally stable first. Myself, I tried to commit suicide in 2017 on a Tylenol overdose. I spent 7 days in intensive care at VCU behind it, and this was over my transition early on. So just get stability is first. Get your mind right first, and just suicide is not the way.
Okay, thank you for that. So I want to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank you for telling your truth. And I just feel like we needed to do this interview because we know that there are people who are struggling, throughout DOC, throughout the country. The world is different. The world has changed, and I feel like the powers that be, people that are in control, need to make this a more equitable existence for everyone, regardless of what you feel or how you think. Each person should live their life. It's not for us to judge. It's for us to love humanity and go from there. So I want to appreciate you. If there's anything else you want to say to the fans, the audience, anyone who's listening, to keep them inspired out there because so many people are going through so much. Do you have any last words before we go?
Yeah, you may want to get in contact with me. My name is Rachel Hallows Sabbats, Sabbats. My state 077708. You can contact me through via Pass, and that's all. Thank you. Via Pass.com. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, and I want to thank everyone for listening. And like I said, we all need to be more mindful, more compassionate to people who are living their true life in the way that they see fit. And one thing that I want the 40 Strong to always do is speak for the voiceless, to speak for those who can't speak for themselves, to tell stories that may be uncomfortable for some people to hear. But these stories need to be heard because every reality is different. Every person is different.
Hey, everybody. I hope y'all are enjoying the show. I think season 2 is going well. It's been some great interviews. I'd like to thank Rachel again. Like I said in the interview, we love to tell stories, and we love for voices to be heard that would otherwise be ignored. So I want to close this show out with a 40 Strong think tank, and I want to address the current state of reform. So last year, a lot of bills and progress for Virginia prisoners was delayed due to different circumstances and situations. So one of the main things were bills like Second Look, expanding earned sentence credits, and things like that were pretty much put on the table because they're trying to research, they call it studies. And basically when you hear the General Assembly say that they're putting up a study on a specific bill, that language basically means that they want to figure out how much it costs, who will it affect, who does it benefit, who does it hurt. Now, when you're talking about bills like Second Look, earned sentence credit, parole, different things like that, that could enhance second chances, these studies, as far as what I'm understanding from doing the research and reading is, do we have enough judges? Do we have enough probation officers? Do we have enough housing? Because let's take, for instance, the mandatory minimums. If the mandatory minimums was released, if the mandatory minimums went into effect as a law, and it did pass, they're saying that maybe hundreds, maybe a few thousand people would be released. And when you have the majority of people going back to, Richmond, Norfolk, Arlington, Roanoke, these types of cities, there is probably concern about housing, jobs, probation officers, and things like that. Now, with that said, when we're talking about money, because from what I researched, it was money related, I want to look at how much money will be saved with these releases, assuming that each person being housed $20,000, $30,000 a year. I think that may be a low end. I'll get more on that. So don't quote me on that right there. I've read that. I've done so many different prison policies and laws and researching on price and cost. So I will have that accurate estimate when I get back on with the next show. But in hindsight, looking back now at what the conundrum is as far as judges, probation officers, and things like that. What about the money that we're saving by letting out people who have been down 10, 20, 30, 40 years, who have shown that they are ready to re-enter society? Yes, there is a cost to hiring more probation officers. You may need more judges. Maybe they can have judges that can sit in, retired judges that can take these cases. They may can have retired probation officers. They may can hire counselors or different people who can step in and do these specific jobs. And maybe they can use AI. Maybe AI could be used to help not only create a more fluid system, but when you're dealing with releases, jobs, and things like that, I think that the sort of implementing AI is not a bad idea. And I know so many people are not fans of AI. It's going to ruin the world and take all the jobs, but when you're talking about organizing and doing the analytics of incarceration and releases, I think it would be perfect. So in this think tank, I want to propose that lawmakers, Governor Spanberger, Lieutenant Governor Hasme, Attorney General Jones, attorneys, judges, anyone who may be listening to this, anyone who is listening to this that can get on the phone with their local judges, with their local delegates, you can always reach out to the governor. She's there for the people of the Commonwealth. I would suggest not only looking at the cost of what it would take for a person to reenter and what it would take to have enough probation officers, judges to rehear cases, but how does that factor in with the amount of money that taxpayers would save by reducing the prison population, which is not exactly a bad idea when Virginia is always in the top 1 or 2 for recidivism, which basically means that when people are released in the state of Virginia, they typically do not return to prison. So I pose that question, and we will be very active this year at the General Assembly. We will be very active in reaching out to delegates and senators about, hey, we're looking at this from one side. It's not so much of what it will cost to hire 20 or 30 more probation officers statewide, or maybe 50 probation officers statewide. What is the savings that will occur with releasing people who have deemed themselves qualified to return home to their families? That's the think tank for today. Please check out the40strong.com. We have redone the website. We have a bunch of information on there. We do have a support officers bill that we're pushing to support officers with not just pay, but also mental health services, because better officers will make better facilities. So I thank you for listening to the show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with another fresh show. I appreciate everyone's support. Much love. I'm out. This is Free, founder of the 40 Strong, and this has been 40 Minutes with 40, your 40 think tank. Have a good day. Bye-bye.